You can still. You could do it live on the show. I mean, it's
I'm
so
fine
the
with
little
that. Okay.
eyeball is active. That means we're live. Howdy,
Okay, cool.
everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of High and Empowered, brought to you live right here on LinkedIn, also on the Facebookie, I think on the Insta Cha-Cha, on the YouTube. We're everywhere.
We on the
Twitch
TikToky
and
too.
the TikTok. You know something? We restream to the TikToky, and I feel pretty good with that.
We
We
restream it.
actually
Okay.
restream to a bunch of places. Actually, look, everybody, this is Kyle. Kyle, say howdy. Tell them who you are.
How's it going, guys? My name is Kyle Fowler. I live in the same place Oren does. We live down here in Florida right now. Worked in the cannabis industry for quite a while. I worked at True Leaf, Cure Leaf, Harvest, and then most recently Air. I am back at a trampoline factory now because I like doing birthday parties. So I'm hosting stuff for kids because I have kids. So
Wait, which trampoline factory are you at? Are you at the Flip Factory?
Yep. Yep.
I used to be a manager at the Flip Factory.
I know you told
I
me.
kid you not. Look, when I first moved here to Florida, the place first opened. It just opened. And the Indian cat that owns the place, the younger dude, you tell him Oren says hi, and then he's going to close his safe. And he's going to lock like everything in the kitchen. So I was the kitchen manager in this place. And
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a traditional kitchen manager because all I wanted to do was make pizza. All I wanted to do was see how creative my pizzas could be, because he has an amazing pizza oven in the back.
He does. Yeah, he does.
Amazing. But they don't utilize it, and they don't make anything interesting. Look, you ask him about Oren, he'll cringe a little, but no. He's great. Great guy. Patel, I think, right?
Craig.
I think Patel, see? Anyways, I'm not going to give them free advertisement. Nobody gets free advertisement except unless I mention you because I'm smoking you. And today, I'm smoking quite a few different things. So we have Kyle. Kyle has great industry experience, knowledge. He's been in the industry on many different angles of it, many different sides, from cultivation to processing to delivery, distribution. What makes this industry amazing is us in cannabis we wear many hats. We do many things. I mean, so tell about some of the things. Tell us about some of the things you've been into cannabis-wise, industry-wise.
Oh yeah, people get very caught up in just the smoking part of it, right? Everyone who's a pothead or partakes, or is a patient that partakes, that's kind of just the end of it for a lot of people. But you don't understand that it goes so deep with the number of jobs that go backwards. So most recently I was at Air working in the kitchen. We would be taking the raw distillate, raw terpenes, mixing them into giant jelly batches, and we're pumping out 200,000-300,000 jellies a day.
Wow,
that was the most recent.
That's a huge number. That's not something we normally think about. Like when you look at, we're pumping out 200,000 jellies in a day. Wow, that's so different from my origins of making candy.
Right. Small batches, but you don't realize how many that actually is until you go to the processing side and you have to bag all 200,000 to 300,000 gummies.
Now, I mean, so what, you count them out by hand? Is a machine doing it?
Yeah,
for example, with the last place that you were working at.
So as soon as they're done, they have to cure for a little bit. You don't want them to be too sticky. That's kind of, you don't want to have a sticky gummy. So we put them into a big, it's not really a fridge. It's kind of cold, but it has just a lot of airflow. So you're putting airflow over the gummies. We sugar them a little bit so they don't stick. And then we're taking them over to the packaging room. There you have people with good eyesight. Pick them up one by one or two by two. You're looking for any specks, metal shavings, hair, anything that's not just pure, gummy. Get rid of the bad ones, put the good ones in a tin. Someone seals the tin, and you're kind of just on an assembly line with about 15 to 20 people. You're sealing the bags.
I do have to mention how people are now when it comes to product control. Anything they take off the line, this doesn't go back in. It doesn't get cleaned up. It gets disposed of. It gets destroyed.
No one gets to keep it. No one takes it home. There's no free samples. Yeah. It still gets weighed. It still gets bagged. It still gets reported to the government, and then you still got to throw it away.
But that's so different. And I say that because when I started in this industry, we make. Of course, you eat whatever we don't sell. You use in different ways, right? I mean, but now that we've gotten so corporate, so clean, so GMP about it, which is incredible. We needed to be. I think that is something that was missing. This is why I have so much difficulty going back to the legacy market, only because now I've been spoiled. Look, the cleanliness factors of
we used
commercial
to have
cannabis.
a stereotype of like, you know, people would think of stoners as dirty hippies, and it's anything but when you're inside a facility. You're talking there's hair nets, you wear goggles, you wear face masks, you wear beard nets, you wear a full suit all the way down, like a big Oompa Loompa suit, all the way down to your feet. You have your shoes on, then there's gloves. So you're not touching any part of that cannabis at that point. You are
That stuff
completely
gets hot.
out.
Look, so you guys know, it's hot inside the greenhouses. It's hot in the hot houses. It's hot in the dry rooms. One of the things we're missing here in Florida is the cool weather. Cold air is incredible for your cannabis. It's incredible for growing. It's incredible for curing, incredible for drying. Everything should be done in.
Some of the biggest companies nowadays are flash freezing their bud right before harvest. It puts some purple on it. It raises your THC percentage. You're really just dropping it down to almost 32. You're hitting about 34 degrees for a day or two and just giving a little bit of that cold treatment. And that's what a lot of places are starting to mess with. But no, you're talking about the heat inside of a grow house. Man, those people are taking water breaks every 15 minutes because you're 95 to 110 degrees. Plus you have all that suit on. So you're probably sitting in 120 degrees feeling like weather all day.
See, this is not something people hear. This is not something that your consumers that are buying the cannabis understand, that the pain and you know, heat, especially here in Florida. But you know, the pain and the heat and the effort that goes into growing great cannabis, it takes great struggle. It takes a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. And this is something we just don't hear. But I think people need to hear it. I think people need to hear the love that's going into their flower. There's
so much trial and error. You got to think about, you know, one of the people that worked for Air, I don't even know if I'm allowed to name names, but he was a contestant.
Whatever, this is high and empowered. Are people listening? You know, whatever.
He was one of the people off MasterChef, and Air hired him to come in. And the troubles that you have is when someone comes in and makes a small batch of gummies, that's really easy to dial down your recipe. Now, when we're blowing that recipe up, you would think it would scale correctly. Nothing of the sort. So you go from making 30 gummies to 300,000 gummies. There's a lot of error. You don't, you know, like you said, people don't want to open up and have one gummy all just stuck together because you're trying to medicate. So you need to have a regimented dose, and you want to know how much you're taking at a time.
No, I agree with you 1,000%. And that's exactly it. You want to know how much you're taking. Here on the show, look, this is our smoke session. When people ask, what is high and empowered? What are you doing exactly? You know, we don't get together like we used to. The older we have relationships, responsibilities, we have jobs, we have traffic, we have life.
COVID.
What was that?
Yeah, we had COVID. COVID made it where it's so hard to get together with people nowadays.
I mentioned that, funny enough, last week. I was mentioning how COVID has changed the get-togethers of the cannabis users. But this show is our sesh. This show is our getting together on the couch, playing wrestling games or football or Madden or whatever on whatever system you have. These are our get-togethers to talk about, to educate, to rejuvenate how we see cannabis and how we see the community of cannabis. So when I bring up things like, look, they're working hard behind the scenes, they're working hard. When you bring in what you just said, the chef, and you're trying to upscale, or you're trying to go from a small batch to very large 200,000 gummies, it's not the same. There is a lot of trial and error. People don't see that behind the scenes. So that's what this show is. And that's what I like to tell people. Look, we are getting together as a group, as friends, as a community, as employees, as legacy. We are getting together because we're all the same under the leaf. And that's what the show is for everyone. This is a good educational community hug. Oh, kind of like that. So you were over to Air now. You guys were upscaling and I mean, I take it. So with the gummies, look, they stick together. That's a big thing. I'm big on pectin gummies. I know they're using gel or like, what do you got? What, do you know what they were using?
We were actually switching over to a lot more pectin when we were there. Most of my time spent there, we were moving from man-operated kitchens to giant machine-operated kitchens because they want to go from 300,000 gummies a week to 3 million gummies a week. Because what every company doing is right now is they're sinking in millions and millions of dollars for the day that we hit recreational. You know, people think we're selling a lot of bud and products now. Once recreational hits, you're going to go tenfold.
So this is something I think a lot of people are not ready for. Yes, the second we go recreational. Now, okay, quickly to mention here in Florida, going recreational means all the players that are in the market right now, your big players like True Leaf and Pure Leaf and Move and Air and you name it, and Goldflower and some of the others, INSA. I mean, there's so many. Right now, I think there's like 20. Who do you love? You love INSA? All of these people are going to be now in recreational, and they're going to have to up their game. But but it's not just that. You need to teach people where your locations are, why your products are better. Now it's not just about price. So you like? All right, sorry. Tell me, who do you like? Who's your? We'll get back to talking about pectin gummies, and I love that. I love that they're going to pectin.
Man, it's a double-edged sword because honestly, I've been to every dispensary that Florida has. If you're talking small batch and you want to order it online and you're okay with that, INSA and Gold Leaf have some of the best bud out there. It does take a couple days. If you want somewhere you can walk right in. So here's my problem with True Leaf. True Leaf has some of the best bud on the market. They have some of the best partnerships in the market. They do not train their staff adequately.
Okay, wait, stop there. Yes. Nobody trains their staff properly. True Leaf, the worst at that. But you're right. Pure Leaf has a whole school. Air has a whole educational program. So Air and Pure Leaf, I know for a fact, have incredible educational programs for their employees, for their corporate staff. But no, you're right. True Leaf, I've heard that.
Talk about Florida as a whole. Florida is one of the only states that's medically regulated that doesn't require any prior education to becoming a bud tender. Colorado,
no, that is
California, true. You have to go take courses and learn and pass a test before you can ever. What you got?
That's Blueberry Headband from
where?
Sanctuary.
Oh, I have not been to that.
They're a sleeper. I'm just going to throw it out there. Sanctuary is a sleeper. They are because they're cost effective. Whoever's doing the curing over there is curing the shit out of it. The drying I'm not happy about, but the cure is gorgeous.
For a minute. Let's speak on the fact that from Pure Leaf to Air and everybody else, whoever knows how to cure, please move to Florida and get yourself a job because we have a problem with curing.
Thank you. Oh, look, this is our biggest problem. They're not curing properly and they're not drying properly.
Not at all.
Look at this. Here. I'm just going to bring this close. That's a small bud, by the way. That's a small bud. Small. This is small. That's nice. That's how small buds are supposed to look. Not these itsy bitsy. Let me just break that open. Let's get a live. Oh, broken open. Do you see that?
The way it just snapped. There was no pull.
Yeah, look at that. So that's what I wanted, more of a pull. I don't want to snap. I want more pull. So the cure is not bad. Oh, it's not bad. It's got a little sticky to it. Oh, it's got some shit hiding in there. Some fruits. Some like deep plum. Wow, I'm excited. But yes, you're right. Curing is a big problem here in Florida.
And I don't know if that has to deal with our humidity. Florida is one of the most humid states. And are we having to do things a little bit differently than other states because of our humidity? You know, we may have to tamper with the way that we cure to just match our environment naturally.
Not to talk about anybody's proprietary methods, and I'm not going to. But one of the people you worked for, and one of the people I've worked for, they have a very interesting method of curing, but then they kill themselves. All right, so they're doing it too quickly, and
that's a lot of it.
Curing, it takes time, and product here in Florida is rushed. Things here in Florida are rushed; they're moved along.
But it's rushed once the growth cycle's done. We'll take all of our time and we'll spend all this money to grow. It's really good bud. It's really, really good bud. And then once it's off the line, once you get to post-production, it is rushed, it is shipped, and it destroys what we naturally made.
This is the truth. Look, anybody who's curious about what's happening here in Florida, the bud is amazing. The companies that are growing it are well-knowledged in other states. And here in Florida, they're still learning. 6-7 years in growing flower here in Florida, they're still learning. They're trying to find flower that's mold resistant, bacterial resistant, resistant to the humidity and the weather conditions, and you name it. Florida has, though, produced, and I can tell you because I've traveled all over, I've smoked all over, Florida has produced some incredible flower.
Absolutely.
We lose it in the cure. The dry and the cure is where we have our biggest problem. And I think one of the things to fix, and I'll tell you how we fix it, because everybody's, well, how do you fix it? Come on, you're so smart, you know, how do you fix the dry and the cure? Lower the temperature.
Yep.
Control the environment. Yes, it's going to cost you more money. Yes, you're going to have to invest in climate recirculation models. You're going to have to invest in air scrubbers. You're going to have to invest in better air conditioning systems. You're going to have to drop the temperature.
Well, you have companies like Curely for reporting a $2 billion profit. Invest in it. Like, you have the money, put it in there.
They won't keep that profit with the competition in the market. Look, when you said it earlier, delivery, I just want to mention it. Delivery is the future of this industry. You can have a million locations and use those locations as delivery hubs for your expanding market, because I don't want to have to go to a dispensary.
No.
Tell me how you feel. It's the simplest thing.
Let's bring up a name that no one's heard in a while. What happened to Blockbuster? You have absolutely the most
locations in the world. Blockbuster so many moons ago.
You had the opportunity on your doorstep to buy Netflix, and you turned them down. Look what happened. These companies like Gold Leaf and INSA, who do mostly just deliveries, are going to be the future because of the
Flowery. That's how they got going.
You have all the overhead. They don't have to compete with 100 stores, air conditioners and staffs and managers.
Right.
That's millions upon tens of millions of dollars that you're spending when everyone likes Amazon. Who goes to Walmart? Who goes out anymore? You just ordered on Amazon.
You said it right there.
Look, any of those companies that are listening, you should probably reach out and shake Jeff Bezos' hand and get yourself a contract real quick.
Look, I've heard stories. I've heard things going on.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the world of delivery, private delivery services, it's changing, and it's changing very quickly. I think Schedule 3 opens up the door to delivered products, delivered medication. People are getting medication delivered right now. So but keep in mind, again, don't hold your breath. A friend of mine posted an article that I saw, but I'm just going to show this right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's so lovely. That is a sugar wax. That is sugar wax. I'm just going to, that came from a place far, far away. In the stars. In the stars. It was in the stars, in the buds and star buds.
We're not going to name
far,
drop
far away. And so that's sugar wax. That is.
Love it.
Oh God, it smells delicious. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Sometimes here, let me just see if you. That's what's left. Isn't that clean? Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, there's nothing in there. No.
Like, there's nothing in there. I'm taking it.
No, I mean, there's how pure it is. There's nothing. But
right. No, there's nothing in there. It's no. I'm taking it all out. And by the way, I just want to really quickly mention. So I've got my dabber on my keyring, and I got it from my G Pen collection. So as I was going through customs or through TSA, and you got to put your keys and everything in the basket. So my keys and everything are in the basket, and it goes through. And the TSA guy, he looks down, He picks up my keys and he's like, huh, nifty. Huh, nifty. He looks right at me. He's like, these are yours? I'm like, absolutely. He's like, uh-huh. Drops the keys and he's like, let's go. Like, let's go. So, no. But, you know, the future is moving to delivery. And today's show, I do want to touch on this. The future of jobs in the cannabis industry as we talk about possibly rescheduling. Possibly. Because I keep telling you, don't hold your breath. The head of the DEA, and I forgot her name, has no clue what the hell's going on. She's like, reschedule? No, I never said that. I'm not signing anything. Nope. So let's not rush. And plus, you've seen how long. Look, anyways, I said a friend of mine has an article out that they have 2 licenses through the DEA waiting for rescheduling that already happened, where already some of their cannabis lines and medical lines have been approved, but they're waiting for rescheduling. You can't hear it, but there is insane lightning behind me. Just insane.
I can see it. You can see it when it strikes. It's in the window. Yeah.
I'm only a little scared because I'm in a totally metal building. This is I keep telling people it's like my bunker, but there's nothing bunkerish about other than if a tree fell on it once and the tree had to bounce off. That's how solid this thing is. It's a 1952 Spartan Deluxe travel trailer. It's insane. I'm refurbishing it. I say that, but I'm doing nothing. I haven't done shit. It's going to be
a mobile podcast unit. We'll be taking it and doing mobile podcasts in it.
You laugh. This would be great. I would love to travel the country and do podcasts as we go. I just, I probably need to work on a better signal. Let me just put the overlay in for a moment, see if anybody has any comments that I've missed. And shotgun, fantastic. What is happening? That is amazing. Okay. That is lovely. High and empowered. Look, we are here to empower people, not just smokers, everybody. We are here to remind you how amazing you are and how even you think the little changes that you do make enormous changes in the world around us. The ripple effects are incredible. We just have to work together as people to generate positive, better vibes in our environment. Society as a whole hurts right now. Everybody is hurting. Life is hard. Things are hard. And it's I don't know. I think when I look at society as a whole, I look at how we're changing in here. And we're getting cold. Since COVID, we've drawn away. I mean, look at the dating scene. The dating scene is, from what I hear, is just the most insane thing in the world. People don't meet anymore. They don't talk. There's no actual. I don't know. We're almost in this future-esque society.
Yeah. Everything's technology now. Everyone's on phone calls and podcasts. No one really meets in person anymore.
But that's kind of it. I think cannabis could bring us back together.
Oh, absolutely.
So, as a community, I think, is there a cannabis-only dating thing? I think that'd be cool. If not, somebody needs to. I mean, I think there was something like that, but I think somebody got really high and just forgot to call back someone or hit like, or they swiped the wrong way. They're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna go this way. As a community, we need to come together more. And that's really what it's about. So today we're talking about jobs in the industry. Today we're talking about that blueberry headband is obviously fantastic. I took a couple of hits and I'm in La La Land. We're talking about the health benefits of cannabis and how putting yourself in the La La Land, you need that. Society is hard. Life is hard. The world is hard. Sometimes we need to disconnect. And that's why we all join each other right here on High and Empowered. So whether you get to watch us live or on one of our multi-restreams, thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining me, Oren, and this is Kyle. We're going to talk about cannabis. We're just going to giggle about it a bit, about where we've worked, what we've done, where we're going with it. So that's awesome that you were able to be part of that. I guess to see 200,000 gummies being made. I mean, to
I
experience
honestly
that side of it as well.
Oh yeah, I loved experiencing that side, but my side's always been the front end. I like retail. I have a mission for why I got it out to people. I have a mission for why I got into cannabis. So it was far more fulfilling for me to sell to people because of the fact that, you know, I had lost kids at a young age, and doctors had put me on a whole bunch of, you know, Klonopin benzos, and I couldn't tell which way was up, down, left, or right, and I forgot my days. And one of my friends, can't name names, right, is a PhD, he's a doctor. He recommended that I try cannabis, and I was able to get rid of all of the pills I was ever taking in a week. And then you realize that mostly in Western medicine, doctors are paid every time they sell you a script of benzos. They're paid every time they sell you a script of Oxycontin. They're not paid for medical marijuana recommendations. So I would run into these customers when I was at Cureleaf and Trueleaf. They would come in and their doctors would give them unrealistically low numbers for distributions. And it's because they still wanted to sell them pills, and they would charge them hundreds of dollars every time they wanted to up them 1,000 milligrams or to up them a little bit of a bud. And I'm like, guys, you have to ditch the doctor. You're at the wrong doctor, because this doctor gets paid, again, every time he sells you a pain pill. He doesn't get paid for every time he sells you some cannabis.
That's huge. That is. And I've known a lot of doctors that weren't like that. And not all doctors are like that. From the bud tender side, it's really difficult to be able to go to your patient and say, look, you've got the wrong doctor. But as a recommendation, here, I have 10 others you can choose from. Don't feel trapped to one doctor. I don't believe in recommending, unless I'm directly working for them and I'm brand ambassadoring. That's just the truth. But if I'm not, individually, I don't recommend one doctor. I recommend a list of doctors, because I mean, a list of doctors that have been vetted, a list of doctors or clinics that care. And it's more than just, here's a recommendation. They're into cannabis for different reasons. And I'll throw one out there. Medica's Cannabis, Dr. James Hill. Great friend, great guy. He's in Lake City and in the middle of Florida somewhere as well. Very St. Pete, I think, or a very busy place. And Dr. Hill, he's opened up clinics to be able to reach people, to help people. He got his own family members on cannabis. It helped them. Because it helped them so much, he opened up his own clinic. And it turned out he still works emergency. He's an emergency doctor.
He does ER on top of it. I think,
right, he does ER. He's the head doctor, or they call it the director of I don't know. Like, it's a pretty big position. Not Lake City, but further north.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. So and then there's another guy down south, Green Relief or something like that. There's a few of them. There's a few guys that are great. But you're right. It's such a hard thing when they're coming in and they're just trying to make money by upping people's prescriptions. And in the beginning, a lot of people were doing that. Now things are controlled a little differently. At least I mean, so you, as a bud tender, what did you look for when it came to education? Because I imagine you had to educate yourself, or
self-education, because you start learning far more. You know, the biggest thing you get as a bud tender when someone comes in, and you know, I don't know if you've ever done bud tending, Oren, is what's the first question they ask? What's the first question? What's the highest THC percentage you got?
Yes, but that's wrong. And as soon as they come in like that, I'm like, wait, it's not about THC. Yeah, I know. I want the highest THC. Okay, of course.
And I'll give you
something with the highest THC. I've also got something over here really tasty. I got something over here really flavorful. I don't sell a brand, and I don't sell a product. I'm selling you a solution. When you come to me with medical cannabis, and you come up to me, and I'm the bud tender. Now, it's been a long time. Keep in mind, I've trained bud tenders. I travel from location to location, teaching people how to sell differently, how to sell the solution, which ends up making larger sales because the consumer is more comfortable. The consumer is more educated and understanding of what they actually need. So when they come up to me like, just give me the highest THC, or I just want to get high. What's the best shit you got? Okay, awesome. Let's talk best shit that I've got. I'm not a big edibles guy, but by the way, I do want to mention the company that you're working for. That Camino edible is lovely. That is absolutely delicious. I don't know if you've seen Caminos. Love them. Knock my ass out or wake me up right in the morning. Not many edibles for me do I feel a sativa or indica. With those, I did. And then, I don't know. And then there was, anyway, but that was one of the good things I wanted to mention about them. Moving on. You know, everybody has a good thing. Everybody has a great thing at a dispensary. When that customer comes in, it is up to the bud tender to rock their world. And I know it's hard because it's retail. I know it's hard because they've had 100 customers before that. And they've been standing on their feet and they're not getting paid enough. And there's no bonuses or commissions or anything in cannabis. But there should be. But will that change what we sell, how we sell, and how we care? I sell not for a commission. I sell not to sell, because like, look, if you sell all these eights today, you're going to get an extra 20, 30, 40 bucks. And they do have things like that occasionally. I think there are spliffs out there. I've heard of them. Maybe you get like a pizza party. I don't know, some BS. So in that.
But then again, all that really does is push more sales and less education.
Right.
You want to make meaningful transactions.
With flour, I'm really not educating. I mean, if somebody's coming in and they're saying, look, I want a flour so I can lose weight. I'm like, well, it's more than that.
Exactly make those, my friend.
I mean, look, we could do it in a combination of things. I could teach you how to make tea using your flour. You can eat your flour raw, but I don't completely recommend that here because the flour's already been dried and cured. And you get raw flour, and I like that. Like, you know, something fresh from harvest. Make a tea or chew on that. But to lose weight, you also have to stop drinking soda. To lose weight, you have to stop eating fast food. To lose weight, you got to walk from here to your mailbox and back. And if you're already doing these things, then smoke a sativa on the way out there. Smoke a sativa on the way back. Now, when you get back to the house, you might be moving a little bit differently, thinking a little differently. It's a vasodilator, opens up the blood vessels. But I'm going to say this, teach this, and talk this. With going Schedule 3 gives me validity to what I say.
Well, while we're talking medical and Schedule 3, what I hope that it does is, we call this medicine, yet cannabis is the only medicine that's not covered by insurances.
Oh, but
how much is that costing us out of our paycheck? You know what I mean?
I haven't mentioned insurances for a reason, and I'll tell you why. They destroyed the pharmaceutical industry.
It's true.
That's true. The prices have gone so high, and the research fast forwarded with blurbs and shit that's happened to people so they can rush the medication out. It's the prices. If it's a price thing, then we should have inner collectives within the cannabis community that help us pay for our product. For example, like we pay in $10 a month, and for that $10 a month, I get a discount of 30%. If there's not already psychotic discounts in a place, but I get a discount at these retailers that also happen to be multi-state operators, which means if I go to Colorado, I get a discount in Colorado. I get a discount in Florida. I get a discount wherever I can go to buy cannabis.
Yeah,
and
we're
$10
as far as states go. We're really too far separated when it comes to Cali bud, Colorado bud, Florida bud. It needs to be the nation's bud. We need to grow collectively. All these seed to sells, I kind of get their programs and they want to keep their bud in their own state, but you know what I mean? It's a big wide world out there and people grow different bud everywhere. We need to be able to transfer it back and forth and sell how we want to.
So yes, and eventually it will turn into that. Keep in mind, it's about making money for the very big boys. The big boys will open up interstate transport eventually, and intercommerce banking eventually. Why? Because it's going to benefit the government. Why? It's going to benefit the people in control. How do you keep control of something? You give a little bit here, give a little bit here, and then everybody's like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
Instead of saying, wait a second, why am I thanking you for giving me something that you should have already given me? So I'm under the mindset of I'm not holding my breath and waiting for the government. I'm not holding my breath and waiting for Schedule 3, because in my eyes, the current administration, the current political climate, the current political government is, I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm wearing boots, though.
I'm wearing
boots. Look, I'm not political. I'm not a political person. And I don't think cannabis should ever have been political. I think it should have been community. So, as I said, a community effort probably should get together. So insurance, I feel, might not be the best thing. A lot of people will argue that with me, saying people need it, though. They need cannabis, and they do. People who are impoverished and financially don't have the means.
Is someone that has the passion for cannabis in the pockets needs to step up and make their own type of insurance company. Stop relying on the ones that are already been preceding us and asking them to add cannabis. Someone come in here and be the only company doing cannabis insurance
and only cannabis and make it only cannabis.
Absolutely. It would be
honestly, I'll tell you who I think should do it. I'll throw out some names. Sensi Media. It's a name people know. Or even look, how about High Times? Not High Times. Right now, I think I think High Times is shutting down, or they're for sale. And they're closing from what I understand, I saw something the other day that, a news article that High Times is for sale. So not High Times, but maybe Sensi, maybe who are some of the other big cannabis names in delivery, or Leafly. Leafly's a big one. I think Leafly should be like all over that shit. But it should be a cannabis company that's cannabis involved in the community, because I think the future is delivery.
You just do it the way like Aflac does. Aflac doesn't do regular insurance. They do supplemental insurance. They go to companies, and the people from the company pay for it on their own to add that plan. You would go in like an Aflac and you would say, hey, we can talk to all of the people here, whoever have their medical cards. We'll sit down with them. We'll discuss this, and we'll say it's going to cost you this much a month to add this. It doesn't cost the employer anything, which gets you in the door to every employer, right? If it doesn't cost you anything, why not bring it in for your employees? They pay so much. They get a certain either discount, or you partner with a certain dispensary and you get so many things free. But I think it's a huge industry that someone hasn't taken over yet.
I like where you're going with this. No, it's nice. This is good. Look, yes, it's needed, but not for everybody. Nope. And I would say the insurances should only be good for things like edibles and topicals and oral solutions, because smoke is such a very finite thing. When it comes to flower, comes to flower, absolutely. I can make it tea. I can eat it raw, but I smoke it, and I'm burning it at a high temperature. And when I burn it at a high temperature, I'm burning off all the beneficial cannabinoids. So when it comes to smoke, I'm going to have an insurance company, paying for my smoke? No. You could pay for my edibles. You could pay for my gummies. You could pay for, good time to show this one. By the way, I'm not supported by any companies right now, but this one is the absolute, the absolute shit. This is a CBD, THC product by Wana. And I just want to show you, look at this. Look at those little side there. Organically sweetened, will not melt proof, vegan, all natural, enhanced with 30 plus cannabinoid terpenes. Drop the flipping mic.
We do have to be careful. When you start naming organic and things like that, we have to be careful when we start growing bud of all the chemicals that we're putting in it to grow it. Sure. We need to have better all natural ways of bringing bud the way that it was.
That as a community, Legacy needs to get back in the business.
Yep.
And this is what we're going to talk about today. Really quickly, we were talking about job opportunities in the industry.
God, there's so many.
Cannabis is growing. So many, but many people don't want to get into the industry. Those that are already in it have gotten jaded in one way or another, or haven't been paid enough. Look, they work hard. This is retail. We're going to state it. People need to be paid better for the work they're doing. They'll smile larger. Look, they are showing appreciation through a paycheck. They show that appreciation back to the company. Yes, you can educate them. Yes, you can love them. Yes, you can discount their product. But really, it's not enough. Their bills are expensive. Electricity and phone and gasoline to get to the office. It's expensive. Food. Have you seen the price of food? Weed is cheaper than food now. Holy shit.
My food bill for a family of 5 was more than my rent.
I haven't, see, I understand. I've got 5. Well, I only have 4 living here. And my 5th is too old. I couldn't feed him. I sent him away. No, I'm joking.
You're 8. You're old
and if you're
now,
listening, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I hope you're eating well.
I hope you're eating well.
But no, food's gotten expensive. You got 5 kids.
Look, less than 18. We're going to start kicking them out at 13 because they eat too much.
Well, no, I've got 7 acres here. And all my kids, well, 4 of them are here. And they live in RVs that I've set up on the land.
I love it.
And only because I didn't want them in the house anymore. They smell funny. And they're so no, I've set them up here on the land, and it's been awesome. Trying to keep close to the family, because it's expensive. Look,
it's homestead
get
and
your
grow
own
food.
place. It costs. Yeah, well, we do. We've got gardens. We're growing green beans are a big one. The second you start plucking those green beans every day, every single day. Plus, we also have wild blackberries out here, and over the last 6 years we've cultivated the wild blackberries so that they're growing all along the roadways, all around water sources, so I don't have to keep them watered, and they're amazing. So every day we go out there, we grab medicinal, like a bowl of medicinal blackberries. We grab handfuls of green beans, strawberries. Look, that's what it's about. It's about
my favorite, man.
What's that?
And strawberries are my favorite. They're so good.
And by the way, in case you're wondering, I can't hear anything. It's raining so hard.
So hard here.
You're getting the storms too? Oh, that's right. You're in Gainesville, right? Or outside, like Alachua. Alachua. You have to say it like Alachua. Alachua. Okay. Alachua. That's right. No, wait. The city is Alachua. Isn't one like Alachua? And that's where the farm. Like when I was working for Liberty, their farm was out there. It's not anymore. Their farm has moved. But what an incredibly long drive. And that was where the call center was. And we used to be in this little trailer. And I remember we were scared because a big wind came and it almost took the trailer away. It wasn't even a tornado, just a big wind. So jobs in the industry. Look, jobs in the industry are huge and they're growing. They're becoming. Bud tenders are a big deal. So you were on the bud tender side. You enjoy being on the bud tender side. Education is key. Pay is key. If you pay your people, they're going to be happier. Tell them you appreciate them in a paycheck. And look, I know a lot of people's hours get cut, and especially here in Florida, working in the industry, you don't make a lot of money. It's not like you're working in the legacy market where you made money. You come over to retail, and some places are $14 an hour. I mean, it's hard.
You can't do anything on $14 an hour.
Right? It's very difficult. So we need to appreciate our people better. We need to show love. And in that,
a lot of companies
will make more money.
They don't let tips happen either. Cannabis has always been a giving culture. Cannabis has been, in most places, Colorado, California, Oregon, all the ones that have originally had it, has been a tipping culture. It's like getting served at a restaurant. Your bud tender takes the time to be educated. They run you through a menu. They pair you with stuff. They're there.
Exactly. That was the difference I did see in Denver. You're right.
You should be allowed to tip your bud tender.
It was so different. It was very menu orientated. It was very personal. It was like, no, let me show you. See, we have it on the wall, but no, I will show you right here. And I tipped because that's what it was about.
It's something you can't do in a full medical market. You can't, they have the little jars in all those places. You can see it, smell it. They even give you samples sometimes. Since it's not just medical, you can have a sample.
Here in Florida, they've got smell bars. And here in Florida, I want to say the Flowery and INSA and the Flowery both have They have like a smell bar where, and they also the place. Wait, I can't remember their name, and I'm gonna be very angry because I love their flowers. Sometimes not their flower, their rosin vapes. I'm like, I'm like, what is this? Don't know what that is.
Could be other things.
And they only have like 2 locations. I think it used to be High Times, and then it changed from HT Medical because they wouldn't let them have High Times to House of Platinum. That's it.
Is that what it is now? House of Platinum?
I was going to say the one that sounds like a topless bar. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. I mean, sorry. I told you, I went in there. I was like, you know what would be perfect for you guys? Your logo should be like a nug dancing on a pole. Like this juicy, beautiful nug with purple hairs and just right, like purples and oranges and just beautiful and maybe like just stuck to the pole. Maybe not even dancing to the pole. It's like a sticky nug stuck to the pole. That's no. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to smoking here.
No, I like it. I'm gonna be right back because I'm gonna join you. I have to grab stuff.
You go grab some stuff. By the way, everybody, that is Kyle. Kyle's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking cannabis. We're going to be joining more as a community because that's what cannabis is. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be closer, talking about the things that bother us or the things that are, local. Today we're talking local. Kyle's local. He's here in Florida. We're talking simple things to help the industry, to help people as a whole. Today, I wanted to talk about jobs. Look, there's going to be delivery jobs in the future, IT jobs, open that up, packaging and making edibles. Look, that one place wants to take their edible production from 200,000 units a day to 3 million units a day. Wow, that's doubling, if not tripling, their workforce in many cases. So jobs are aplenty, but the new jobs that I see are more in education, more in learning about the plant, learning about what cannabis can do to help you health-wise. And that leads me into the next part of our conversation. The next part of our conversation will be the health benefits of cannabis and cannabinoids. We're going to be talking about terpenes, terpenines, flavonoids, and their role in healing, and then combining cannabis with other healing practices like cannabis and meditation, cannabis and exercise, cannabis and dieting. To me, it's the combination. It's not just cannabis, but cannabis and something else. Cannabis is there to help you work towards your goal of losing weight, gaining energy. But also in some cases, you can use it to help change your metabolism, change the way your stomach is processing foods or the process of how it processes. I know it gets incredibly technical, but that's where cannabis can help. And that's, by the way, that's by chewing and eating raw cannabis. It's not all smoking it. You can chew cannabis, emaciate it. You put it in your mouth and you turn it into absolute juice and you swallow that. Now, some of that's getting into the bloodstream. Some of that's assimilating in really nicely. But the rest of that's going to get to your stomach and it's going to coat your stomach. By coating your stomach, it's doing different things. It's helping with your IBS, with your Crohn's, with any other intestinal digestive issues that you may have. There are incredible amounts of studies. I don't have them in front of me. That probably would have helped. But then we get too technical. This little sesh time that we have here is not about getting technical. Our sesh time here is about smoking and talking and just kind of throwing out there what's happening in the industry. By the way, so here in Florida, some of the jobs out there, bud tenders. To me, bud tenders are the most important job. The most important job. Why? This is the first person you meet. This is the first smiling face. This is the energy that you encounter coming into the cannabis industry, especially on a medical side, especially for people who are not comfortable with cannabis, who don't know cannabis. They're going to be scared. They may not be like, oh, I'm terrified, I'm scared. But they're not like that. They come in, they want to learn, they want to know more. So meeting your bud tender is probably the most important thing, because right there, you'll that's how you enter into the industry. They need to educate. They need to talk to you about the different products and how they can help the solution you're looking to alleviate, whether it be nerve pain, bone pain. I'm not sleeping properly throughout the night. My stomach is giving me issues. I've got arthritis, neuropathy, fibromyalgia, ADD, PTSD, OCD. There are so many things cannabis can balance. And in that balance, it helps. In that balance, it heals. That's how I see cannabis. Like losing weight. I lost almost more than 100 pounds because of THCV. Not THCV alone, but not eating out, cooking only at the house, no fast foods, reducing the amount of breads that I take in and pastas, and no more ice cream. I still eat ice cream. I'm dealing with a belly. I'm dealing with this belly that I can't get rid of because of ice cream. It's ice cream's fault, and maybe a little bit of cannabis. Where cannabis helps me lose weight, cannabis also helps make me hungry. Not in the way you think. It gets me excited about food again. It gets me excited about flavor. This is where we need to re-explore cannabis. And that's when we start talking about terpenes and flavonoids. Terpenes, the smell, the taste. This activates our body, our receptors, to taste things differently. And let me just quickly mention that I'm glad Kyle's back at this part, because when it comes to smoking cannabis, and then it comes to drinking something or eating something, oh, you came prepared. Look at the big hooter he rolls. Yeah, what is that? That's insane. Nice. Is that a hand roll you did there?
Yep.
When it comes to smoking cannabis, this is where I've experienced it the most. And sometimes with very rare edibles or when I make tea. So here's the thing. When smoking certain cannabis strains, or sometimes when I make tea, it's not that I'm hungry. I'm excited about food. Now, indicas, I used to smoke a lot of indicas. Indicas would make me hungry, but they'd also make me overly relaxed, lethargic,
Yep.
lazy, mentally dulled. And I wasn't the creative powerhouse that I think I am now. I didn't, I was unmotivated and I was depressed. But I was also eating a lot because I was looking to fill a hole that I couldn't find, that I didn't know what hole that was. But I was looking to fill a hole. God, I make things sound terrible. But when I started learning my cannabis differently, when I started understanding my cannabis, I'm smoking more sativas.
Yeah.
Now, sativas that have THCV work as an appetite suppressant, but still make me hungry for specific things. I cook more. I create lavish dishes to satisfy my food palate. But when it came to smoking certain things, whether it be a sativa or an indica, a certain strain would activate something in my body and make everything taste amazing. Shit that I wouldn't even eat. Things that I couldn't stand eating, cannabis brought out flavors and depths that I couldn't understand before. So I'm glad you came back. Tell me, talk to me. And do you experience this? Do you go through this at all?
Yeah, I do have to watch out for the munchies, like everybody. You smoke the wrong thing and you end up eating everything. But you were talking about terpenes earlier, or I heard you talking about terpenes as I was out there rolling.
I did mention terpenes and how I think they activate certain things within the body that make things taste better, that activate like limonins and citrulines and myrcene.
Right. You start learning that those individual terpenes are what actually have the medical benefits as far as pain relief or making you sleepy or making you hungry. It's not the THC, it's the terpenes that really are going to affect how you feel. So we were talking about it earlier, that question of, give me the highest THC. You could have a 30% THC flower. I would take a 15% THC flower with 3% terpenes over a 30% flower with 1% terpenes. And I guarantee you that 15 with the extra terp will get you feeling better.
Yes. No. Yes. if I'm smoking it now, if I'm breaking it down in different ways, if you're going to press it into a rosin, then the terpene profile is very important to me, but I do want the higher THC total count. So the total cannabinoids, the THC. So not just your THC, your CBD, your CBNs, your CBC, your CBGAs. I want the TAC, the total. And in that, yes, that 15, if I'm just going to be smoking it, that 15% is fine. Because as I'm hitting that joint or I'm hitting the pipe, I'm reigniting, reactivating that high, that level. So the THC doesn't really matter. Where it matters most, and I'll tell you where it matters the most. It matters the most, like if you're going to take one hit, 1 or 2 hits and put the pipe down or the joint down. And that's where 30% matters. Because then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm high for a little while. But if you're going to keep smoking it, it doesn't matter. And then the higher the THC you go, that's where you start messing with the flavor and the smell. Now, I've had things that have been incredibly high THC, and they smelled amazing. They smoked good, but they were a little harsh. I mean, I don't know why. It was a little harsh, that high THC, but it got me very high. And actually, so funny, that brand, when it was called Tusk, Tusk, they kept it in a freezer. And yes, it was, I mean, it was gorgeous. And so it was my boy Toe Down. I don't know if anybody knows Toe Down anymore. Toe, he did this song called Chicken Fried Steak. And Luby's, he did like a song he wrote while he was at Luby's. Anyways, he's a rapper in Houston called Toe Down. And Toe is legacy. Toe is OG. Toe is my boy. So anyways, we were hanging at Toe's place, and this is a long time ago, yo. This is like 30 years ago. Holy. That's a long time ago. So anyways, me and Toe Down were hanging, and with it was Hawk and Pokey. Yeah. This is back in the day, yo. And I pissed off Hawk because I wouldn't move because I was so high. I wouldn't get out off the couch. And anyways, okay, so we go way back, and he goes, "Y'all want to smoke some crazy shit?" I mean, and when you hear something like that, of course we do. Absolutely, go get it. He opens up the freezer, pulls this bag out, and he's like, "Look, you got to keep this shit frozen all the time." And I mean, it was like, and you're like, what's going on? So this is a long time ago. I've been smoking a long time, people. You got to understand, I love me some cannabis. So, okay, but this was like the high THC, high terpene, crazy stuff before the medical market, before this recreational market. This is small batch, wow, amazing shit that I don't even know can be found anymore. Things like Swazi Safari, Tusk,
Gainesville Green,
the original strains of Flow or Afghanis, and I mean, wow. So anyways, that story, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't know how much trouble Toe ended up getting into later in his life. I think a lot at one point. Hi, Toe. So yeah.
I do have to go get ready for Flip Factory. I have to go to my job here in a second.
People, if you're in Florida, you go see Kyle at Flip Factory. He's going to hook you up with a deal. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. Are you manning the what do they have, like bungee jumps or ceiling walks? Dude. Or
No. They're not going to pay me that little, man. All I do are birthday parties.
That's it. You do.
I go in,
Wait, I didn't know you're doing birthday parties. That's awesome. Are you dressing up at all?
I try and put on festive shirts, Disney and stuff like that to stand out for the kids. But no, I mean, it's working.
It's in the back underground, right? Like the birthday parties are done in those rooms.
Yep.
Those frightening rooms that people are closed into, and they cut the oxygen off back there. They give you 4 balloons. They say these balloons contain all the oxygen you're going to require.
No, all I do is call the parents. I call the parents and set up the food and book the birthdays. But We always try to get back in the cannabis industry.
We do, and here in Florida, look, we do what we can until we're hired again. And that's, look, and I do education, and I do it for multiple different places now. Unless I'm contracted to one individually, just throwing that out there.
That
but high and empowered,
it
could happen. But high and empowered, we like to come to you naturally, authentically. Yep. We want to give you the product review exactly as it is. Right. Like today, like I told you, I went shopping at Sanctuary, and I'm smoking. Where's Sanctuary's thing? You know, I'm smoking some Sanctuary, and you know, they've got some lovely flower right now. That blueberry headband, I like it. I like it a lot. And then
next week, same time.
Next week, same time, come visit. Let's talk.
Is that the Puffco pipe? Tell me that's the Puffco pipe for the oil.
This is the Puffco peak. Oh, I mean, not the peak. This is the Roxy.
But do you like it?
Love it.
I thought about getting it. Really. It's just Sherlock Holmes.
It's my favorite. Look, now, do you like it? Do you like this piece?
I have to get one. I've been looking at it, but seeing you use it puts it over the edge.
It's expensive. I know. I got it for a deal before I left Liberty because they had an amazing deal going. And I was like, holy shit, yeah, I will take it for this kind of a discount. Because other than that, I couldn't afford it. It's an expensive piece. It's worth every penny. Look, it does everything it says it's going to do. You saw me. You saw the amount of small concentrate I put in there. Beautiful, clean. I'm not coughing. I didn't do dabs just now. I did it at a low heat. I set it at green, low heat. This way, I'm able to get a fuller range of cannabinoids. You know, and it tastes great. And I feel. If I do dabs, I'm not high. I lose sight in my left eye, and I feel like I'm having a stroke or something, and then I'm just. I can't. With this, I feel a better entourage, a good lift. But hey, thank you for coming, Kyle. We appreciate you. So, guys, Kyle's going. I'm still here.
Have fun, guys.
You know, and look, jobs in the industry, bud tenders are huge. Education is huge, especially when this is the first face, the first voice that you're going to hear. Bud tenders are big. I think delivery is a big deal. Kyle was talking about getting tipped in the industry. I think some places allow it, some places don't. It is more of a culture that came more from the Colorado market. And I think it's something we still need to encourage. If your bud tender is going to educate you, if your bud tender is going to guide you down the right way, give them a little tip. So just want to talk about it really quickly, the health benefits of cannabis. We can talk about all the different cannabinoids right now. THCV. This is one of my favorites. Why? Because it helps regulate the blood sugar in the body. Everything I tell you, by the way, is substantiated. It is double-blind study. You can find this through my LinkedIn. I have multiple posts, and if you go down a little bit, you'll see studies documents everything backing from as far back, even years going back years. But everything I'm telling you has already been verified. So in that verification, I'm just bringing you the good word of cannabis, the good word of weed. That's what we're doing here. THCV. The reason I can tell you certain things is because I have experienced them myself. I was diabetic. Almost taking shots diabetic, maybe eventually losing a foot diabetic. I know. My consumption of sugar was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And through changing what I smoke, because getting better educated about what you smoke, changing what I smoke and how I smoke was instrumental in also changing what I eat, changing how I eat, changing how I prepare what I eat. My health was not great. I was deteriorating. And the older I'm getting, I was like, wow, I need to start paying attention to these things. I need to go and exercise. I need to go and eat right. But I still want to get high. I still want to enjoy my cannabis in the evening when work is done. like a glass of wine, which I do enjoy my sangria, and I do make my own mead. I'm not a big alcohol person, but I do like honey wine. Mead, MEAD, beautiful. Wow, it's wine made from honey. If you haven't done it, look into it. And I've actually combined cannabis, RSOs, pure extracts. I've combined different forms of cannabis, even raw flower, to ferment, throughout its fermentation process. Uh, Incredible. I've created more incredible batches using cannabis than anything else ever before because of how closely. Because I don't like beer, but I do like some hops and I do like some floral and IPAs. So by introducing the florals in final stages and whatnot, you're opening up flavors. So mead, I enjoy mead. I enjoy good sangrias. I like to make my own wine sangria, but that's the only drinking I do. So when I come home, I like to smoke a little bit. And the older I'm getting, I was wondering, how can you incorporate that in losing weight? So when I learned THCV, it's the extended hydrocarbon. It's not THC, THCV. It's found in sativa strains, things like Durban poison, Colombian gold, not in high amounts, but in combination with making one change. This is your biggest health benefit, is you taking control of your health. Using cannabis as an excuse or a backbone, fine. That's your backbone. That's your excuse. I used cannabis to quit nicotine. Do I smoke more cannabis now? No, I don't smoke any more than I did before. But I quit cigarettes, which it took years, but started to bring back. I'm starting to get the flavor back in my mouth. And when I smoke certain citrus or limonene or citroen strains, I taste more. I taste differently. And that's what I was, talking about with Kyle. Certain terpenes bring out certain flavors. So when you smoke a joint, maybe something like a super lemon haze, you smoke this joint and you're with friends, right? You're out and then you get something to eat and you get a milkshake and you taste this milkshake and you're like, wow, what am I drinking? I've never tasted it like this. This is so good. And then you eat that burger and you're like, oh my God, this is the most incredible burger I've ever tried in my entire life. What's different? Because now those terpenes are allowing your flavor centers to open up. So here's a weird one. Chickens can taste like 30 different flavor profiles. And within those profiles, multiple different things. Humans can only taste like, I think, 5 to 7 different actual flavors. And so when you open those individual flavors, I call them flavor savers, whatever. There's a more technical term, and I know what it is, but it just won't come out of my mouth right now. But when you open up that flavor inside of you, or in your mouth, in your taste buds, you're tasting deeper. You're tasting more. And I was always like, yeah, because I'm a chef. I like to cook, and really more of a home chef. So let's not get excited. And I like to cook. I like to taste. So I did studies with myself. I had to do many studies. But yes, I tasted better, more finite, more deep. Look, for example, I picked up this local strawberry beer, and I was excited because I've had great German strawberry beers and just really lovely things, and this was not it. And so I took a swig. I was like, "Oh, this is disgusting. This is wild." And I put it down, and I walked away, and I smoked a joint. And then I came back, and I was thirsty, and I saw this beer sitting on the side. And I'm like, I mean, it wasn't in some random place. It was in my house. Not like I'm picking up beers in a random place. That would be so weird. So I picked it up because I was thirsty and just wasn't thinking. And I drank. I was like, oh, this is delicious. This is so good. And I just kept drinking and drinking. I'm like, wow, what? And then I remembered I put this down and my kids were like, Dad, you were just yelling that this is disgusting. How can people sell it? And you walked away. And I was like, but it tastes so different now, because now I was tasting flavors that I wasn't allowing myself to taste. So cannabis on 2 different levels. One, it's the terpenes. One, it's the flavonoids. One, that helps bring out more. But it's also the relaxing of mind. It's the releasing of bricks when stress floats away or is removed because you're smoking a joint. And you remove the stress. You remove the fog around your brain. You get a nice sativa. Smoke a good sativa, remove some of the stress, get a little bit of energy, feel a little bit better about your day, raise your spirits a bit. By doing that, you taste differently. You want differently. You're not as stressed. Hey, go on. You're not as stressed in what you're eating. Like say I'm eating a Twinkie. Why I'm choosing a Twinkie, I don't know. And I'm stressed out. I'm just going to eat the Twinkie. I'm just going to taste sweet. I'm just going to taste maybe some cream and I'm just going to shove it in my face. I haven't had a Twinkie in a very long time. But when I was high and eating a Twinkie, it was sweet and sticky. The sponginess of the cake, the sweetness of the cream. You're taking the time to enjoy it beyond what it is and appreciating it. So I think for me, getting high helps me appreciate life and everything that it brings to the table. Helps me appreciate the flavors. Helps me, the flavors of life, the people of life. When I am leveled, we'll call it leveled or high or whatever you want to call it, I can sing to people and they can sing to me. I mean, I say that in the silliest of ways, but I look at people with no judgment. And I don't care if they look at me with judgment. That's what cannabis does for me. So it allows me then to taste with no judgment. It allows me to see with no judgment, to speak with no judgment, because we are all the same under the leaf. The more people who understand that, you don't have to smoke. You can eat it, you can drink it, you can use a topical. You don't have to get high. Topicals can work. I want to mention topicals as a health benefit really quickly. You got to rub them in. If you're getting any topical, I don't care which one it is, unless it's an alcohol-based topical, and still kind of give it a good spiel, but rub it until the skin warms up. Pores are opening, it's getting deeper. You've got to use things like medication. Don't just, it's supposed to work, I put it on, look, it's not working. Rub it in and activate it. Look, put some energy and effort and vibe towards cannabis. Don't fight it, because then it will fight you. If you're like, it's not going to work for me, I'm going to smoke this, or I'm going to take these edibles, or I'm going to drink this crap over here. This is your older generation. I apologize. And sorry, I mean, I'm getting there, so I can not make fun of them, but I can imitate. It's not going to work for me. And when these people say it's not going to work for them, it's not, because they're going to block it in their brain. They're going to block it in their body. Release it. Believe in it. Believe in yourself. Believe in you. High and Empowered is about you. It's about us. It's about all of us. It's about healing you, healing the world. Believe in it. It can work. Any medication that you block in your mind is not really going to work well for you. Anything that you fight against, obviously it's not going to work. Open your body to it. Open your mind to it. Open your chakras, your CB1 and your CB2. And then once those are open, the CB3 might open up. I don't know. There's still studies being done on the CB3, really quite incredible stuff, but still proposed. I don't know. There's so much more to learn and so much more to be. That's what cannabis is. I'm glad Kyle got to join us today. Hopefully he gets to join us next week for a little chit chat as well. But today we were talking about jobs in the industry. We're just talking. We were winging it. I was actually taking a page from the Dualistic Unity book. And by the way, if you have not yet had an opportunity to check out Dualistic Unity, they're here on LinkedIn. They're on the Facebook. They're on the Twitch. They're on the, there's many places. They're on the many places. They podcast. This will be podcast later on as well. But they podcast. They are on the Podbean and the this and the that. So you can find Dualistic Unity, and you can find the High and Empowered podcast through the Dualistic Unity, or through my page on LinkedIn, my Facebook, my YouTube. I don't think anybody actually goes there, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. LinkedIn's a good place to see it. But I don't care where you see it. I just hope it helps. I hope you see cannabis in a different light, where it opens, even in the small things that we delve into. I was talking THCV. I was talking about how that can help with diabetes. My blood sugar is regulated. I smoke a lot of sativas. I smoke things high in THCV. So I'm a case study all in my own. I'm not hungry. I mean, when I say that, I could probably eat a snack, but I can go till dinner, and I usually do. I eat maybe a bite in the morning, maybe if I'm running out, like a granola bar, um, and I'll have an espresso before I leave the house. You'd think that energizes me. Actually, that calms me. It's a trick I learned by changing the chemicals in the body and in the brain. And so in that, I'm calmed, I'm relaxed, I'm entering the day focused, not hungry. I didn't mention I am smoking a little bit here and there. In the morning, I might take a gummy, an edible, anything that's sativa or terpene sativa leaning. It's a whole world to talk about sativa hybrids and indicas. And I know parts of the industry are trying to get rid of that terminology. And I understand, but it's taken us so long to get the public here to understand sativa, hybrid, and indica. I'm sticking with it a little bit longer because I also want to talk about terpenes, and terpenes can shape things in that direction towards a sativa hybrid. Everything's a hybrid. So talks hybrid, talk sativa, talk indica then. But terpenes can shape things, indica or sativa. And that's where the health benefits can help change things. Cannabis can help us by understanding what we're using. THCV, sativas, I use them for energy, blood sugar regulation, appetite suppression. It also rewires the transmitters, neurons within the brain. Wow, there's a lot going on there. And people with ADD, this benefits Alzheimer's, dementia. I don't want to take any chances. I've not forgotten anything, but I haven't forgotten anything. Cannabis hasn't made me forget anything. Remember last week we were talking about boosting testosterone, boosting fertility with cannabis? It's more than just a possibility. It's here to help health-wise like duct tape, 1,000,001 ways. That's cannabis. Fuel, it's clothing, it's building material, it's medical, it's recreational. Here at our sesh, it is a little bit of everything. So again, by the way, thank you everybody for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Kyle had to go to the Flip Factory. That is so wild. I didn't know he works there. I hope he says hi for me. I hope he doesn't get fired. No, I didn't drop anybody. I could have dropped it. Maybe somebody jumped and I moved out of the way. No, I'm joking. No, I moved on from that place. It was a temporary job that I had when I first moved here to Florida, many moons ago now. It was like 6 years ago. Wow. And then from there, I popped into the cannabis industry. I was in the cannabis industry when we got here to Florida, but it takes a long time for the cannabis industry to hire somebody. And that's multiple interview processes, that's clearances, that's, multiple more interviews. Everybody's got to be sure of who they're hiring, from the packaging department all the way to the education department. It takes a while in some cases to get hired, at least in what I do in education, in community outreach, in brand ambassadorship. It takes a while to get hired. So you work jobs like Flip Factory or delivering pizza, but not now. No, now I'm just independently enjoying my cannabis and promoting brands and education. I think the podcast is a great place for us to come here unbiased. Don't come with an agenda. I'm not. Come here to smoke. Come here to learn. Come here to talk. So definitely, if people have more comments, I will definitely answer things. Just double checking to see if anything's happened, and nothing's happened. Still okay. Fantastic. So that's what we do here. If you have questions, I'll answer. I do want to mention cannabis and the combination. So that's a big deal to me. I want to talk about that in an episode on its own. But it's changing the fats that go in your body. And that changes the way your high is transmuted through the body. Remember, cannabis travels through the fats of your body. So if you are if they're bad fats, carbohydrates, if they're fast food, or I mean, seriously, it makes a huge difference. Some people don't feel high anymore. And a tolerance break alone doesn't do the trick. It's how it's assimilated and processed through the body. Now, I would have never known this until I started researching how cannabis works and processes through the body. So in that, we need to change the fat. Like avocado is great. Peanut butter, incredible. These things are also useful at losing weight and regulating. Like if I'm too hungry, or not too hungry, if I've eaten recently and all of a sudden I start getting hungry, if I have an avocado, slice up an avocado, get a little bit of toast. Yeah, I try to stay away from the bread, so I might just eat the avocado. But in that, I'm not hungry anymore. You're satisfying the specific urge, but not with potato chips, not with fast food, not with anything, because like potato chips, those oils, those saturated oils, saturated fats, you're holding on to that in your body. You are what you eat. This is a huge one. I didn't realize it. Somebody they're telling me, Oren, you've got to change what you're eating. You've got to change where you're eating, how you're eating, the time you're doing it. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what are you talking about? Then they stopped talking. They looked at me and they said, Oren, you are what you eat, what you consume, what you put in your body. That's what you are. Wow. They're so right. I mean, so right. The water you consume, you are made of water. 70 odd percent, I believe, or 67 to 70 some odd percentile, I believe. I don't know. I'm guessing like with decent knowledge of it. I think it's like 72% water, 71%, whatever. Somebody tell me I'm wrong or right, or don't tell me, and I'll just believe it's 71%. So in that, if you are made of 71% water, what you put in your body is filtered and diluted and held onto. So when you start changing, remember, you make a small change in your life, huge ripples, huge ripples. So you change the water that you drink by changing just that one thing. Remember, you're made of water, 70 odd percent. By changing that one thing, ripples all around you, your whole life, your whole body starts to change. Change the type of water you're drinking. Become more alkaline. Cancer, for example, is acidic. Cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. And if you create an alkaline environment within your body, you're changing everything. Energy, health, digestion. Remember, everything's going on in your stomach. Your stomach controls everything. Your mood, your balance, your energy, your sleep, how your food is processed, how your energy is given. I mean, look, I used to eat and I'd have no energy. I used to look at food and gain weight. Now, total opposite, because of how I've changed what goes in my body. That also changed the way I felt, the entourage effect, the way I felt high. I mean, as a kid, I'd smoke, I'd get high with everybody, like, oh my God, I'm high. Oh shit, we're high. Woohoo. And then I'd come down and be like, all right, I'm not that high anymore. I'm tired, I'm sleepy. How my body would process it. And the older I got, I continued smoking. So my body was processing it to a point where I just wasn't feeling it. And that's where I started changing. I changed the fats in my body, the water that I consume, the exercise to be able to activate the neurons and receptors in my body. But it also changed the way I feel high. So when I smoke, and I get high, I don't take dabs, I don't get high. I get high. And then as I smoke, I regenerate that high and I just kind of keep it going down a really lovely path that I can control. And it all becomes about my health. It all becomes about my sanity, about my PTSD in large crowds. I mean, I'm a social butterfly. And you put me on a stage with 40,000 people, I'm fine, whatever. Let me talk to them, I'm good. You throw me in a crowd of 40,000 people and I start to freak out. I can't breathe. I can't think unless I'm high. And then I'm perfectly fine. 40,000, throw me over this way. Who cares? We're just going to go with the flow. Because I let go of my stress. I let go of my fear. I let go of my problems. And I just float and understand life in different ways. It's not that I'm not experiencing things. I'm not experiencing things with those sharp moments. Instead, I'm floating through those sharp moments and assimilating them properly. That's how I look at cannabis, mental and physical. I don't smoke all the time. I don't get to. I may pop an edible. I may chew on a gummy. I might make tea before I leave the house. And with tea, I don't feel head high. I get body high. Like by the time I finish drinking that tea, I'm like, I'm feeling all right. And I do. I feel all right because my pain is lessened. My mind is straight. I feel all right because I no longer fear people or crowds or anything. I approach life with vim and vigor and excitement because of cannabis. And that's a health benefit. That's a health benefit people don't talk about. That's a health benefit people don't say, hey, how does it help mentally? With mental issues and actually there was an article, beneficial cannabinoids and therapeutic applications for mental health and mental diseases. Cannabis can help. Individualized cannabinoids can help. Sometimes just smoking a joint helps. If I've had a stressful day and it's been hard, it's been tough, life is heavy and it's coming down on me. I come home, I roll a joint, I get in the car, or I walk the land. Oh, if it's not raining, today raining. But I'll walk the land and hear the duckies and hear the crane. It's a crane. He makes crazy sounds, freaks me out. Oh my God, I go running. Or there's these emus over here. There's emus. I'm not kidding. One day I'll have to do like a walk around. But I smoke. And all the pain and stress and bricks of the day, the heaviness of the day are pushed away. And I just relax. I get to see the world as beautiful as it is. I get to breathe the air as sweet as it is. I don't always appreciate that because I don't see it until I can get that weight off of me, that pain away, that stress behind me. And a joint does it, a bowl does it. I mean, I've been smoking here and I feel fine. I felt fine coming into this though. So, I mean, look, I don't know, you wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, I'm dealing with incredible stresses every day, raising a family or keeping a family alive and fed, and jobs and marketing, and I mean, whatever it is that I'm doing, it's stressful and it's over encompassing. It's over encompassing. Like, forget it. I can't talk today. Can't talk most days. When you admit you have a problem, then there you go. No, this is cannabis. This is us. This is getting together, and this is how it's helped me. I don't worry about what I say. When I say that, I'm pretty sure of myself. I'm not going to say really silly things. I don't have that stress, but I had that stress at one point in my life before my therapeutic methods of cannabis. I couldn't just do podcasts. I couldn't just turn the camera on and go live. Why? Because I was thinking about what people would be thinking of me. I'd think about all the different things I've got to talk about. I've got this, I've got that, I got that. It was a lot. And it was so much that I just couldn't turn the camera on. And then one day I got high, really high. And before a podcast or a live broadcast, I was like, no, what are you doing? You're crazy. Get really high. Hit the live button. I said, hi, everybody. I'm Oren. Let's talk about cannabis. Or whatever it was I was doing. It can be that easy. Don't be afraid of it. Let it into your life. Open yourself up. If you have fear going in, you're enhancing your fear. If you're stressed going in, you are stressed still in. I mean, yes, you'll reduce your stress by letting yourself enjoy it. You'll reduce those issues, the pain, the problems, by letting yourself flow into it. Don't fight it. Don't expect too much out of it. Just smoke a joint, smoke a bowl. Actually, I was waiting to light this thing back up. So we're talking about the health benefits. It's in the terpenes. It's in the THC. It's in the combination. It's in your body. And to me, that's a big deal. So it's also promoting a healthy lifestyle, exercise. It's cannabis and meditation. Meditation's huge. I can't hear myself think sometimes. Like I take the walk, I smoke the joint, I feel better. Meditation is great. If you have time like that, learn your breath work. Breathing is everything. Take a few minutes out for yourself. Excuse me. I'm meditating really quickly. Meditation doesn't need to take 30 minutes. Meditation doesn't need to be, I'm sitting down cross-legged, breathing in. I'm doing breath work right now. And in my breath work right now, I'm meditating. And this pipe is usually on for like a minute or two. And that's my meditation. It just turned off. Meditation time over. That's it. I've just meditated. Meditating doesn't have to be a specified amount of time. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. This is meditation. This is recombobulation. You know, it's something we need sometimes to see the world differently, better, to see past the layers of shit that have been piled on everything. You are all very good people. You have to see it and believe in it. You're all so powerful. High and empowered is about creating your day, creating your path ahead of you, being the authentic you, finding out who you really are. And every show I do, I see myself sometimes later when I watch it in a whole different way. I see myself trying to be the authentic me as much as possible, because we hide who we are most of our lives. We wear a mask in front of our bosses, our colleagues, our wives, our friends. We cover who we are. We don't open up our authentic self. Dualistic unity is helping me. I listen to these guys. I don't believe in everything, but I like a lot of what they're talking about. And, you know, in that, they've made me look at myself. They've made me look at who I am, who I want to be, who I really want to be, and why I want to help, why I want to spread a message of wellness through cannabis. Why? The authenticity of it. So Dualistic Unity, check them out if you haven't already. They're awesome. They're fantastic. Again, there's good and there's bad. There's the yin and the yang. Some shows of theirs I'll watch for a moment, I'm not quite into, and others I'll be riveted and I can't take myself away from the seat. So that's where cannabis is. That's where the community of it is. That's bringing it all together. I come to you as authentic as I can, as cannabis as possible. And that's what high and empowered is. You're amazing. You create the day ahead of you. Believe in yourself. If you have to look in the mirror and use an affirmation and say, I'm amazing. I'm going to do amazing things today. Believe it and do it. It's all you. You are the power you seek. You are the energy that you're looking for. That like, I lack the energy. No, you have it. It's within you. It wasn't just cannabis that did it for me. It was a combination of understanding pain, understanding life, understanding people, understanding myself, which I'm still learning every day. I don't know who I am some days. I wake up, I look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell are you? I mean, I don't even recognize you anymore. Oh, wait, that's it. I have to focus. Ah, there you are. But no, it's I wish the best for all of you. Everybody have an amazing week. Be everything you want to be. Don't let life hold you back. Don't let people's thoughts of you hold you back. Trust me, people don't give a shit. They're thinking too much about themselves. They're not judging you. They're judging themselves. Don't you judge you. Don't you judge yourself. Stop it. Be you. regardless of what anybody thinks. Be who you want to be, as strong and as amazing, as powerful. That's the point of High and Empowered. Reminding people, you are the master of your destiny. You are the creator of your day, your week, your month, your year, your life. When people tell me I haven't done enough, because you haven't created enough. Don't wait for somebody else to create it for you. Don't wait for somebody else to put it in front of you. You put it in front of you. You create it for yourself. You make the magic and the vibe in that direction. You talk it, speak it, create it into existence. Abracadabra. By the way, I want to apologize for last week's episode because the weather, or not the weather, I think it was what, I don't know what, no, my phone, it overheated. It blew up almost on me and just everything shut down. So that was the abrupt ending last week. And this week, no abrupt ending, just empowerment, just cannabis, just community, just Oren, just talking. And that's it. That's what our episodes are. Next week, it could be male infertility. It could, that was last week. It could be jobs. That was this week. That's today. It could be anything. It's how the week in cannabis unfolds, how it shapes, how it creates, how it becomes. So if there's amazing research, I want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. High and Empowered, we're going to mix it in with all the other ramblings that come out of my mouth. I thank you. I appreciate you for coming and being a part of this. And anywhere you may see it on the restream, on the live, again, I think you are all amazing. And have an amazing day because you create it. Don't wait for it. Have an amazing life because you want it. So create it. Be it. Don't wait for anybody else to give you the opportunity, to be the opportunity, to be anything. You are everything you need. Work together with somebody with the positivity as well. But remember, you are powerful. You are amazing. So that's it. That's the message. Message going into this week. Be amazing. Be everything. Thank you for joining us on the High and Empowered. I am Oren. I'm signing out because if I don't, I never do. I'll just talk forever